It's been nearly a decade since. Now Taylor Swift returns to that very same stadium, armed with an arsenal of new pop hooks that become chants and battle cries when sung by an army of Swifties. Tonight in Sydney, 84,000 strong. But only one chant has attached itself so iconically to one place. Sydney's version has become the only version. Nicely done, Sydney. Hey there, I'm Blake McCoy, recapping the Eras Tour country to country, and we arrive now in Sydney, Australia. This is part 2 of our Australia edition here. Taylor played her biggest shows ever in Melbourne, and now arrives in Sydney to be the first artist ever to play 4 nights in a row at Accor Stadium, which is the marquee stadium there in Sydney. If you don't know the reference off the top, this is from the 1989 World Tour. It was filmed in Sydney, hence the Sydney reference. That chant has been heard the world over by now, so everyone was expecting Sydney to do it, hoping Sydney would do it, and they delivered. Not the least of which was Taylor herself.
That was so cool when you did that. I was hoping that you would, and then you did. Wait, can we just do it again? Like, boys only want love if it's torture. Oh.
Sydney had a little bit of everything great. A lot of people online were being like, what the hell? Is Sydney the favorite city of the tour? Sydney had surprise guests, the biggest being Travis Kelce, how he continued to win over Swifties, and another VIP guest no one saw coming because of their history of bad blood. Plus, when Storms preempted Sabrina Carpenter's opening act, it turned out to be a huge win. She got to join Taylor for a duet. Why she chose this particular song. And Taylor has entered her mashup era. Here's my attempt at a video mashup. Almost every surprise song in Sydney was actually 2. Taylor called the decision chaotic. I will try to run through them all. But first, let's look at the welcome that Sydney laid out for Taylor. We had murals going up across the city, some of them of her face, and at least one of them was raising eyebrows. Angry Spice. Yeah, people were like, is this mural an honor to be getting, or...?
He's here. Taylor Swift's Sydney era has begun.
An umbrella army was on hand for a wet welcome.
Arriving under a cloud of rain and a shroud of secrecy, the Swift storm has begun.
Well, in Sydney, Taylor stayed at the Crown Plaza Hotel in the 2-story presidential villa, complete with its own swimming pool and sweeping views of Sydney. Goes for $38,000 a night. A close call here with Taylor's motorcade leaving the Crown Hotel. You see, almost gets sideswiped by a bus. Look at that. Way too close for comfort, if you ask me. Could have taken the trains, though, because Central Station in Sydney was transformed in a lavender haze.
Tay Tay Express Train.
All aboard the Tay Tay Express. Those trains running all weekend to Olympic Park. Swifties rode for free if they showed their tickets. And there was even a Taylor Swift soundtrack playing on the speakers overhead. It was actually a concerted effort by the transit agency to get people on public transit to prevent traffic gridlock in Sydney, with 100,000 people expected each night, 4 nights in a row. A lot of people roll their eyes when they see stuff like this, but keep in mind, this is the largest 4-day event in Sydney since the 2000 Olympics. That's how big Taylor's tour is. Really remarkable. Hour-long lines stretched outside the merch tents for days leading up to the event. Even the Prime Minister was getting in on the excitement. He stopped by a radio station to give away their contest
Prime Minister
tickets.
Anthony Albanese. You're off to Taylor Swift.
He was seen at the show later. So was the former Prime Minister, you can see there. Continuing this international Eras Tour tradition, we got 4 different Aussie slang phrases here.
Together.
Tell him he's screaming. Knock her off. Wreck off.
It was a touching moment on night 1 with the 22 hat, which went to a 9-year-old girl named Scarlett from Perth. She has terminal brain cancer, no cure. She has about 12 to 16 months to live, they think. But her one wish was to meet Taylor. Make-A-Wish said that wasn't going to be possible. And that is until social media got involved, and they started sharing Scarlett's story and making her wish of meeting Taylor come true. At night 2, the fiercest little boy you've ever seen. Look at him. He was something else. I love him. Taylor loved him too. She was smitten. She spent the longest time I've seen her spend with anyone at the end of the runway there, giving him 2 hugs. And then when she reached the end of the runway again there, she points at him. Night 3 went to this 5-year-old girl who won a public speaking competition with her speech about Taylor Swift. And then this girl got it on night 4. So excited.
Love is in the air. Everywhere look around. Up
Sydney's Tay Tay Takeover reached a fever pitch. Travis Kelce decided to join for a few days. Wall-to-wall coverage of his arrival.
Touchdown! Kelce's in Australia.
Touchdown, Travis.
Landing with friend and former teammate Ross Travis. They attended night 1 of the Eras tour. Is Travis not the most likable person ever? Look at him, like high-fiving people, he's waving to the crowd, exchanging friendship bracelets, dancing, singing along the entire time. Such a stark contrast to Joe Allen. I don't want to pick on Joe too much, but I mean, what a difference here. Also in the VIP tent night 1, Taylor's one-time nemesis, the person Bad Blood is said to be written about, Katy Perry. Clearly moved on from their own bad blood. Posting this selfie with the caption, "I got to see an old friend shine tonight." She was there with Rita Ora and her husband. Also in the VIP tent that night was Australian film director Baz Luhrmann. He's the guy with the lighter hair there. Also attending in Sydney, Rebel Wilson. She was seen chatting with fans, handing out friendship bracelets. She was there with Academy Award-winning actress Toni Collette. Also Kate Walsh from Grey's Anatomy. Emily Loves Paris more recently. Stopping by for a short time, Mark Hoppus and Tom DeLonge from Blink-182. They popped over Friday night. That's because they were playing a sold-out show right next door, at the arena next door.
You should have gone to see Blink. Should have gone to see Blink 182.
Now, despite some shade here,
Needed to come over here and take a shower afterwards.
I think they're fans because they worked in a Taylor mashup. And this was not just this night. I actually looked, and it's been happening all tour. Also, this was just for tonight. They played Shake It Off as their walk-off music. And get this, Shake It Off was the song being performed as Blink-182 fans passed Accor Stadium, leaving the show. Isn't that crazy? Talk about timing. I'm guessing that was not planned. That would have been way too hard to time out and plan and hope that everyone's on time. And on night 1, there was also a slight weather delay due to lightning in the area, which meant the stadium floor had to be evacuated into the concourse area. It was a short delay, but it meant Sabrina Carpenter's opening set got preempted.
She heroically sacrificed her show, which I think is a crime against Sydney, and I think it needs to be fixed.
Taylor and Sabrina had spent the last 2 days together, going to dinner at an Italian restaurant where Taylor left a $300 tip. Very nice. And they went to the zoo 2 days in a row. First, just her and Sabrina the first day, and then they brought Travis along for the second day.
You guys don't understand how cool kangaroos are, because you have so many. They are so cool, so strong, so bouncy.
During their time together, Sabrina mentioned that the very first song she ever learned to play on guitar was one of Taylor's, from Fearless. And why don't I just let 9-year-old Sabrina tell you?
Hi, this is Sabrina, and I'm going to be singing White Horse by Taylor Swift. I hope you like it.
That I'm not a princess, this ain't a fairy tale, I'm not the one who's forgotten.
This duet of White Horse was mashed up with Coney Island from Evermore.
Now it's too late for you and your white horse to come around.
Nicely done, 9-year-old Sabrina and today's Sabrina. Beautiful. I love White Horse, one of my favorite songs. The other surprise song night 1 was our only non-mashup, How You Get the Girl, which was fitting with Travis Kelce in the audience. Taylor revealed another alternate cover for the Tortured Poets department here in Sydney called the Albatross. It comes with a bonus song also called the Albatross. And get this, okay, she announced it right after they played Coney Island, right, in that mashup. In 1903, there was a fire that destroyed Coney Island, and it was started at the Albatross Hotel. Started by a former employee over unrequited love for a female employee who had her eye instead on the hotel's owner. So I guess he burned the place down, and burned down with it a lot of Coney Island. This is not all. This is where Taylor's like crazy. We're so glad Taylor decided to become a pop star instead of a serial killer because we'd never catch her. The hotel used to be on the west end of what's called the Bowery, which was the amusement area. That's what it was called, Bowery. That was the pen name for Joe Alwyn's work on Folklore. Do you remember? William Bowery. And guess who's listed as a co-writer on Coney Island? So I guess we are burning down the Bowery, burning down Coney Island. Big metaphors there for the ending of their relationship. And that's not the only Easter egg coming together here with the Albatross. What does Taylor's dress from the Grammys look like? An albatross, would you say? So that was maybe an Easter egg. Joe Alwyn has got to be in a bunker somewhere or in a straitjacket preparing for this album to come out.
But obviously, you know we love your accent.
Night 2, Taylor introduced the surprise song by revealing her favorite Aussie pronunciation.
The word no. The more you chew on that gnar, you should have said gnar.
You Should Have Said No was matched up with another early favorite, You're Not Sorry. And before the piano song, there was a little mishap here. After a quick tune-up, we got a mashup of Peace with New Year's Day. Night 3, Is It Over Now? Mashed up with I Wish You Would. And on piano, this was a good one, I thought. Haunted, which is a totally underrated Taylor track. And Exile. And Night 4, Would've, Could've, Should've. And Ivy. And on piano, this is another good one, Maroon with Forever and Always. Please don't forget to like the video and share it if you want. A few quick shout outs for Sydney. First, this sign language interpreter who is giving it absolutely everything. Yes. Also, this guy, or whoever had this t-shirt made for him, creative, timely, recalling decades of Swiftie folklore. Bravo. And check out this cute moment during Long Live. Taylor's pointing there to Travis during the line about trophies and holding them up for our town. Taylor once again changed the lyrics to Karma with Travis in attendance, who waited just off stage to give Taylor a hug and kiss. Donna Kelce, Travis's mom, commented on Instagram, "This is so cute. It makes me so emotional to see my son so happy." I do have to mention before we go, Taylor's dad was caught up in a little bit of controversy because you see the paparazzi here were waiting for Taylor and her entourage to leave a super yacht in the harbor. They had apparently rented it, chartered it after the tour was over to celebrate. One of the paparazzi accuses Scott Swift, Taylor's dad, of hitting him here. This case is being investigated, but the paparazzi himself admits that there was no injury, no lasting marks. He didn't have to go to the hospital. So even if Scott did hit him, it really wasn't that significant. I'm going to go ahead and say case dismissed. If you don't have injuries, you didn't go to the hospital, we don't have any clear video evidence that he hit you, no. Case dismissed. You're looking for a quick payday or some attention, and you at least got the attention. So move on. Please don't forget to like the video and share it if you want. Our next stop here on the Eras Tour is Singapore, which is 6 nights in a row. This is going to be a huge stretch. Let me know what you thought of the Australian leg of the Eras Tour. And don't forget to subscribe to follow along as we recap each country visited on the Eras Tour. Next stop, Singapore.